Hey, this is Kevin Flerledge with the Flerledge Twins. Today I'm going to be talking about how to take an LOD and turn it into a table calculation. I want to try and talk about understanding table calculations through fixed LODs. Alright, so we're going to start off with a really simple example. We've got in Superstore data, we're looking at sales by month for just 3 different products here. And this was a kind of a discovery that I made a few months ago. And I'll admit, I'm not the best with table calculations. I think I can kind of trial and error my way through it. I kind of know what I need it to end up looking like, and sometimes I don't fully grasp exactly what's happening. On the flip side, I have a really good understanding of fixed LODs. I think they're pretty straightforward, and I've used them enough to really have a strong understanding. So with table calculations, one thing that did really open the door was a video from Andy Kriebel, and I'll link to that in the blog post. And that really talks about how to read a table calculation. So I'm going to go here and just kind of show this. So this is one example, and we'll come back to this example here, but Andy really talks about how to read a table calculation in plain English. So you start at the bottom. You start with this unchecked value, you say for every product name, give me the WindowMax by month. All right. So for every product name, give me the WindowMax by month. We will come back to that, but that was kind of eye-opening. So I kind of made this discovery a couple months ago, really helped me understand table calculations. I shared this with my brother, and then of course he said, hey, Mina Osden has done this like 4 years ago. So of course Mina is brilliant, one of the premier people on table calculations in the Tableau community. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're looking at these 3 different products, and we're looking at them sales by month. And you know, a typical use case might be to get the max month in a data set, or max month by you know, an individual dimension. So in this case, we'll see some lines that kind of end at different spots. So I'm going to just take the month and throw that on a label. And we see here, you know, May, November, whatever. And the last month here is September, last month here is November, last month here is October. Make this a little easier, I'll just do line ends here. September, November, October. So what I want to do is create a calculation that gets me this value. So these are just labels. I can't really use them in a calculation, and we may have a need to just figure out, you know, for each product, we want each row to represent the September figure. So for every row in this Apple iPhone 5S, we want it to represent November. So we might create a fixed LOD. I'll put an @ symbol in here. Fixed LOD on product to be fixed on product name. Then we're going to take the max of the month. I feel like this is pretty straightforward. Most people have done this. So for every product name, we're going to take the max of the month. So if we get rid of this, throw this on label, and we got to get it to month, we now see the same thing we saw before, September, November, and October, right? So for every product, we've got the max month. So what if we wanted to take that and do it with a table calculation? Well, we certainly could do that. How might we do that? Well, instead of using a fixed max, we're going to use a WindowMax. So let's call this WindowMax by product. WindowMax, type WindowMax, and it needs to be an aggregation, so I'm just going to make it ATTR and drag this thing in here. Alright, I think I need one more. Alright, so now I have this WindowMax of the order date. That's just WindowMax the order date. So let's take this off, put this on here, and what you see here, let's format this so it's in the same format. There we go. It did it on the axis, sorry about that. Alright, so we see it's computing, it did exactly what we wanted to. For every product name, it gave me the max month for that product, right? So let's investigate this table calculation a little bit. And it says table across. For me, table across is kind of meaningless. I don't really get what that means. I like to be more specific. So to be more specific, how do we do that? Well, let's click on specific dimensions. So what you see here is this product name is unchecked, which kind of showed before, and and it's calculating. Let's close this. It's calculating properly. So what's happening here? Well, let's jump over here to a little diagram I created, and funny enough, Mina's is very similar to this. Like I said, I'll share that. So we'll skip this for a moment. You see we have a max here. This is our fixed LOD. This is our table calculation and how it's computing. So this shows our max here, right? Max of order date. We have a WindowMax of order date here. And here's what's different about a fixed LOD and a table calculation. A fixed LOD, we're going to specify what that is. In a table calculation, we're going to make it compute in a certain way to do that, right? So here we have product name included as a dimension in our fixed LOD. Here we uncheck. It's kind of, I don't know, excluded in our table calculation. So if you're converting a fixed LOD over a table calculation, whatever you have fixed it, what you fixed it on in the fixed LOD, that will be the unchecked thing in the table calculation, right? So let's read these in plain English, just like Andy Kriebel kind of told us to do with table calculations. Let's do it for both of them. So this says, for every product name, give me the max month, right? For every single row in the product name, for the product name, give me the max month. And what did this say? Well, let's go back to here. Starting at the bottom with the unchecked, for every product name, give me the WindowMax of the month, right? Same exact thing. So these are doing identical things. So if we go back to Tableau, you see these things look exactly the same as they did before. So what if we wanted to create or calculate the fixed max of everything, not specific to a product, just everything. So every row would have this November date. Well, we can create another fixed LOD to do that. Fixed on all, whatever. And we just write fixed max of order date. And interestingly enough, you don't actually need the fixed. You just get rid of that word altogether, but we'll leave it. All right, so we put fixed on nothing. We put the label on here and set this to month. You got November 2020. So if I were to show the start of the line or show all, they're going to, well, I don't know what I did there, but they are going to show November 2020 for everything, right? That's what the fixed LOD is doing. Well, we can replicate that exact same thing with that same table calculation that we used before. We find it. Let's take this off. Let's put this back on. Now remember, it was calculating for every product, right? If we go to, we set it like that, it's calculating for every product. And remember how we read this. For every product, give me the WindowMax by month. Well, when you have a fixed LOD that's fixed on nothing, like I said before, the dimension in the fixed LOD before this product name, and we uncheck this box, well, there's nothing in the fixed LOD now, so we don't uncheck anything. So if we check both of these boxes, you see what happened. November 2020 for everything. So really nice way to understand how to use table calculations when you are good at fixed LODs and you understand fixed LODs. So there are lots of use cases for using a table calculation over fixed LOD. Order of operations things come up all the time. Sometimes you can't use context filters, lots of things like that. I had a use case the other day at work where I was doing this with something that was a running sum. So we were having problems with using table calculations within fixed LODs and all that. So I had to use table calculations of table calculations to get that to work. So lots of different use cases. So there you have it. Special thanks to Mina, who did this 4 years ago, long before me. So she, again, brilliant. You should follow her and read everything she's ever written. And for more Tableau content, you can certainly check us out at flurridgetwins.com. Thank you.